Alright lads and lasses, I'm Xcentric Racer, and I am here on Forza Horizon 5 doing another post commentary. Yes, because this was another video where my audio completely broke and made me sound like a chipmunk. So yes, I'm going to be doing the same thing as I did last time. I'm going to put some music in the background so you're not listening to just complete and utter silence. Anyway, this was another one of those Failrace Versus The Community's event that I got invited to, so I'll do all the same stuff, you know, credit to him, and I will, well, cheers for inviting us, and I will leave a link to his channel in the description. Anyways, what we have here was A-class rear-wheel drive cars, if I remember correctly. I think that was the only restriction, I can't remember too much. Yeah, I can't remember too much. I think I've got that restriction one, but I know it was something to do with rear-wheel drive cars. It might have had to do some sort of Ow! I think it had to be aspirated. I think it had to have twin turbos on it, if I remember correctly. I do apologise. Anyways, yeah, so what I've got here is the 370Z Nismo. Because it was a car that I forgot about, that was actually added into Horizon 5. And I sort of picked it up. I thought, well, you know what, let's give it a build. I tried a little build on it ages ago, and I thought, wow, this is actually a really impressive car. So I thought I'd use it. So yes, what this car has, as you can see, is off-road race tyres and about 211 horsepower. No, that's completely wrong for A-class. 611 horsepower. Car weighing about 1,400 kilos. And yeah, it turned out to be a fantastic car. I really did enjoy the 370Z. Unfortunately, these races weren't quite as good as the last video in terms of actual racing, so this one's going to be a little bit shorter this time out, but it's not going to be too much shorter for you. I've done the same thing. I have highlighted it a little bit more so that, you know, we're not just watching about 30 minutes of absolutely nothing and the chipmunk demented voices. So, you know, there is that. However, let's get into the actual races. First race, we headed to Tierra Prospera. I actually had a pretty good start on the grid, coming in second place. Now, you're going to see a fair amount of Canaxi, Chroma, Alex himself, and Dragons. They were sort of the cars that were running towards the front. You will also see that BMW Z3 sort of here and there, because that was nearer the front as well. Anyways, like I said, race 1, we headed to Tierra Prospera. Very good start on the grid for me. You saw Chroma actually catching up to me a little bit there. The 370Z struggled a little bit to get off the line, I will admit. Its launch was not the greatest. However, its handling was absolutely sublime. It really did feel like I was not on off-road race tyres on tarmac. It felt like I was on rally tyres. As you can see, Canaxi was just understeering wide a little bit there. That gave me an opportunity to go up the inside on lap 1, and that would promote me to the lead. And this track really suited my 370Z really well. It had good overall handling and was actually pretty damn quick down the straights. Nowhere near as quick as Canaxi's Nissan there. However, my handling was just so much more superior that it just didn't matter. You know, I was sort of pulling away a little bit from Canaxi's car round the corners, and, you know, as time went on, that gap would just increase steadily and steadily. I still had to be very concerned because, well, that gap was not huge. If I made a big mistake, you know, I'd be out the running. But that was really the race. It was just me slowly pulling away. So I'd win race 1. Canaxi would take second. Chroma, with that Camaro, would take third place. Alex would hold on to fourth. Sloop would be fifth in that Z3. And Dragons would be sixth in the LFA. As you can see, the fastest laps are all very close for the top 5. Dragons LFA was not quite working there. It was a little bit too slow around there. Second race, we headed to possibly my weakest track in the game, San Juan. I really do struggle with this track. It's a very, very quick track. Very, very fast indeed, with obviously, as it is a dirt race as well. So, you know, you do need good dirt handling at the same time. I started a little bit further back. I was making my way through the field a little bit. Chroma's Camaro was a lot better, I think, accelerating and getting off of the corners. It was so much better than my car. As you can see, Alex's car was on semi-slick, so he just plummeted through the field when he was on the dirt. I had a really dodgy run there, sort of trying to go around the outside of Sloop's Z3. That pinged me into the wall. I was not able to get away with that one, so that would lose me a fair bit of time. So now I was basically trying to play catch-up to the front 4. My Nissan was fairly good through here. Like I said, this is my weakest track. Tried to go up the inside of Sloop. Actually had a amount of airtime. Didn't want to crash them in. They run into the wall on the next corner. I'm able to slide up the inside and I would get that position. And to be honest, I was running away a little bit from Sloop Z3, but I was not catching up to the people at the front. I mean, that Z3 was pretty damn quick. It just struggled a little bit. A little bit further up, unfortunately, Dragons would spin out. That would promote me into the top 3, and the positions would stay like this. Yeah, us 3 at the front had a pretty big lead. Sloop did briefly overtake Dragons, but would lose that position eventually. So, for the second race, Canaxi would win, Chroma would take second, and I would take third. So, yeah, that one was a little bit blander. As you can see, faster slaps. The Dragons' LFA was up there. The 94 Fair Lady from Canaxi was a much quicker, and then me and the Camaro were sort of similar pace. Race number 3, we'd head to Arc of Mouled circuit. I would start again 9th. Sloop would be behind me. Chroma had a very good start at the front. Alex was starting 3rd. Canaxi was starting 4th, and Dragons was starting 5th. So I knew my work was definitely cut out, and Sloop as well did have a little bit of gaining to do. As you can see, their launch is a lot better than me, but once we start getting to that acceleration, my 370Z really did not let off that accelerator. It would just kept accelerating. Even if I'm running full race aero, it really did feel like it was didn't really, because it just had that much speed. Sloop tried to get the position, but it just did not work out. They just outbent himself a little bit. I had a lot more acceleration than Failrace's BMW there. I think that's the older M5. I just happened to get the position. Now I had to try and find a way past Dragons' LFA. I was looking every which way. I was thinking about the inside, but I thought that's just too risky there. They run a little bit wide, hitting some of the street furniture. I'm then having to try and go around the outside. My handling is not that bad whatsoever. Keep it alongside. That gives me the inside for this double right-hander here. I get a little bit of a slide, drifts me wide, would touch a little bit. However, not too much time was lost whatsoever. I'm sort of going across. I think Dragons tried to keep giving me more room and sort of accidentally went into the wall there. Either that or possibly desynced and nudged them into it. I'm not too sure either way. But yeah, that LFA was actually pretty damn quick. I was looking behind me constantly, wondering where that LFA would try and go for the positions, because it wasn't, I think it was actually a little bit quicker than me in terms of top speed. I'm not too sure. Tried to go up the inside. My acceleration in the 370Z was too good for that LFA to try and get that to actually make that position successful, overtake successful back onto me for 4th place. Yeah, my acceleration on the 370Z was just too good for that. So what I had to do now, I was starting to pull a little bit of a gap away from that LFA, so now I was having to see if I was able to catch up to Chroma's Camaro. I was about to say Corvette, that'd be completely and utterly wrong. Yeah, I was sort of, I think I was gaining on that Camaro a little bit. It's just that Camaro had such good acceleration off of the corners. I did eventually catch up to them, as you can see. I do try and go for a position, but it just doesn't work out in the end. I'm sort of looking for any opportunity that I can get, but you can just see the Camaro is just that little bit better. It's easier to get the power out of that car because I think it has wider tyres, but my braking was so much better through there. I just ran into the back of them trying to see if I was able to just spot an opportunity. I sort of, no, it wasn't this lap, sorry. Next lap, I do make a mistake. But yeah, Chroma was then just starting to pull away a little bit. This is why my 370Z struggled. It did definitely struggle through the city, through the little village section, shall we say. But once we sort of headed to the bottom of it and more towards the straight, this is where my 370Z was much stronger than the Camaro. Nowhere near as strong as Canaxi's Fairlady Z, and I think Alex's Mazda had a slightly higher top speed than me, but it would take that car a good while to get to speeds higher than me. My 370Z would just get to there very quickly. I do have a little bit of issue on the brakes, however so does Chroma, so I'm much closer this time. I'm getting a much better exit out of this corner. As you can see, I'm trying to go around the outside. I just scraped the cobblestone wall a little bit. I'm alongside Chroma, having to look for a move up the inside on a really tight line and nudge the street furniture. I have a huge slide and I just turn in too early. I do just turn in that slight too early, which just completely costs me a chance of getting 3rd place. I was worried that I'd lose 4th place to Dragons and possibly even 5th as well. However, it did not work out that way. Fastest lap would go to Knaxi, but as you can see, the fastest laps were very, very close, especially with Chroma's Camaro. That was really close. It was very, yeah, the fastest lap. The top 4 were in a league of their own around that track. Definitely, but Dragons and Sloop Z3 was not far off. For race number 4, we headed to La Selva, and my work and Chroma's was definitely cut out. 370, I was starting in 8th, Chroma in 10th, Dragons in 6th, Knaxi in 4th, and Sloop was in 2nd. Yeah, you can see my launch was just not that great off the line. I was a little bit better than that Jaguar XK there. I definitely getting the speed. Fowie's BMW was just not that great down the straight. I think that was definitely a more handling orientated one. I have to do a little bit of a lift, a little bit of a brake, because I wasn't quite too sure what to expect from this car. You know, so Dragons got a little bit of a gap on me there. You can see all sort of clutters in as we go into the dirt for the first time. The DB11 there, really not loving life out there. It's just losing a lot of time. I then just make an easy move around the outside of Alex's RX-8 because it just would not be competitive here. That was on the complete wrong tyres to be very quick here. I do manage to get the position past Sloop. The Dragons' LFA had a little bit of issue over the wall. I did as well. I sort of tagged the front, but that LFA got off much worse through the water. And this track really did suit my 370Z. Nowhere near as much as Knaxi's Fair Lady. However, this track really did suit my car. I think it's the 300ZX that I can't remember fully. My mind's going a little bit blank. I do like taking that wide line because it is a shallower line through the water. Obviously, you've just got to be mindful of the tree that's after it. But yeah, as you can see, I'm starting to pull a gap. I started to pull a gap away from Dragons' LFA, and yep, that was pretty much it. I was not really catching Knaxi. I did actually a very, very good lap this time out. Knaxi had a little bit of issues over the bumps, but it just was nowhere near enough. I could not get that position, so Knaxi would take another win. I'd take 2nd, but you can see the gap that we actually managed to pull away from Dragons. Chroma managed to get to 4th place. They did have a pretty slow start. I think their control disconnected or missed a checkpoint and then had to fight through traffic. Final race I have left in full because this race was absolutely spectacular. This was the best race, honestly, of the evening. This was just incredible, incredible stuff. So as you can see, I'm starting in 3rd place. Alex is up ahead. We had Knaxi in 6th place, Chroma in 7th, Dragons in 8th, and Sloop was in 9th. So I only had to I had a very good advantageous starting position, but as you can see, Alex's car was much better on the brakes and through the corners because of his semi-slick tyres. But Knaxi already managed to make their way into 3rd place, so as soon as I saw that, I knew that this was going to be a very tough fight. But as you can see, because I'm running full aero, Alex is actually able to keep up with me fairly well. I do pull away quite a bit. Obviously, he has the inside line. I have to do a little bit of a break because I really don't know the limits on my car. That was a near miss on the checkpoint. I mean, watching that back now, I think I was having a heart attack when I did that move on the race. And looking back now, I was, Jesus Christ, that was insanely close. Alex is more than capable to defend. He's got the tyres to do it. I couldn't get the position there around the outside. However, this was big issues. I really had to try and get past Knaxi as good as possible. And, well, basically, me and Alex just became a roadblock for Knaxi's 300Z. Knaxi was not able to get a position past whatever. He tried to go up the inside here, manages to draw alongside, but I've got the inside for the next corner, and my handling is just that much better that it just didn't matter. This did allow Alex to pull away a little bit because I was having to focus now on defending from Knaxi, which is what he wanted. However, you know, Knaxi, I sort of take the line, Knaxi wanted to take the same line, so I sort of was in his way. He had just a massive run, but just nowhere to go with it. I had an incredible run through the chicane. You can see that I actually pulled away from Knaxi a fair bit, and I caught up to Alex just immensely because of that much better run through the chicane. Because my 370Z was also on rally suspension, so the curbs didn't really bobble my car around all that much. So, you know, there is that. Right, So yeah, there is that. Again, I'm trying to see if I can get a move. Kanaxi again just gets boxed in by that RX-8. He just had nowhere to go. Me and Alex was sort of impromptu teamworking, because if Kanaxi managed to get past, that would have been it. He would have been absolutely flying away. I don't think there's be anything that would have been able to do, because this track does favour power. Yeah, sure, you do need a little bit of handling, so a little bit more. It's power favoured, but you definitely do need a little bit of handling around this track for definite. As you can see, Kanaxi's going to try and go around the outside. Not able to do it. I have to do a lift, because obviously there's a car on the outside. Don't want to shove him. Don't want to shove that person off the road entirely. Again, I have no issues through the chicane. Alex moves across. It's going to force me onto a very tight line. I do actually get the position briefly. I sort of drift wide a little bit into the path of that RX-8. However, Kanaxi was really close now. I had to try and get an opportunity. He was looking every which way to try and get an opportunity to overtake me. However, my opportunity came here. I managed to just get a good enough run. I was close enough to that RX-8 to be able to go around the outside, just outspeed Alex into this first braking zone, and that did allow me to pull away. Alex was still defending from Kanaxi. You can see just the closing speed from that RX-8 through the corners. It was quite immense. However, once we got to here, I did scrape the wall a little bit, but my straight line speed was just too good. Alex had a little bit of a compromised run trying to find a way past me, so Kanaxi would get the position against Alex through the chicane one more time, and get you can just see the speed I had through here. My 370Z absolutely thrived in that corner, especially with the suspension as well. It just had no issues dealing with those curves. Alex would actually go around the outside of Kanaxi, get that position, and was basically hoping that he was far enough ahead. However, I know the speed of that 300, he wasn't. So Kanaxi would take second. I would get a good enough run to take the win, and the RX-8 would take third. It was a bloody fantastic race. It was just nothing but intense all the way throughout the end. Chroma would climb up the fourth with that Camaro. So there you are. I do hope you enjoyed. All feedback is appreciated. Big thank you to Alex for inviting me to this. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. If you do want to join that, there'll be two links. The invite link will be to his Discord where the event takes place. My Discord will be in the link as well in case you want to say hello to me. It's up to you. However, that's going to be it for me. Take care, and ciao for now.